Welcome back to Raising Humans Together. Today, we're going to talk about something powerful, pouring greatness into your children, because our kids need more than just correction. They need more than discipline. They need more than just direction. They also need identity, of course. They need encouragement, love, life spoken into them. And as parents, we have to be intentional about teaching our children who they are. We have to remind them what they carry. We have to pour positivity into them so they can grow confident, grounded, and clear about their worth and aware of their purpose. Because if we don't tell our kids who they are, the world definitely will. And we already know the outside world is not always going to be kind. Social media will try to define them. Their peers will try to influence them. Music, trends, public opinion will try to shape how they see themselves as well. And a lot of the time, those outside voices can become louder than voices inside the home. And that is why parents have to stay present. We have to stay connected. We have to keep speaking life into our children. I've seen this with my own eyes, shit, also with my own family members. You can speak negativity into your child and they will grow up with the lack of confidence and self-worth. I've seen it through mentorship. I've seen it through parenting, and I've seen it from working with youth for many years. A lot of kids are growing up trying to find themselves in the wrong places. They are chasing influence before they understand their identity, and that's dangerous overall, because when a child does not know who they are, they can easily become whatever the world tells them to be. That is why we have to remind our kids that they are smart, that they are loved, that they are valuable, capable. As leaders, we have to let them know they're leaders. And most of all, letting them know that they're created with purpose, and also letting them know that they are destined for greatness. Now, let's be real. Pouring positivity into your child does not mean you ignore correction. It does not mean you let everything slide. It also doesn't mean that you don't hold them accountable. What it means is this: discipline has to be balanced with affirmation. Correction has to be balanced with encouragement. Rules have to be balanced with love, because children often become what's repeatedly spoken over them. If they constantly hear negativity, failure, limitation, it can affect their confidence. But if they constantly hear purpose, value, belief, encouragement, it can strengthen how they see themselves. And that matters, because a lot of kids look confident on the outside, but inside they're questioning their worth. And they are also wondering if they're good enough, and also if they fit in. And sometimes parents, we do not notice until the child is already broken down. But we cannot wait until our children are broken to start building them back up. We have to build them early. We have to build them daily, of course. We have to speak life before the world tries to label them. Another thing we have to talk about is music and entertainment, y'all. Music, we know, is definitely powerful. Um, but let's be honest, some music can be negative, especially when kids are listening without context, without guidance, and without guardrails. Now, I'm not saying all music is bad, but we have to be honest that some messages can be reckless. And some messages promote things that can hurt our kids' mindset, their choices, and their identity. And we cannot just act like they will never hear it. They're going to hear it. They're going to go outside and they're going to hear it. So instead of just hiding it, we have to talk to them about it. We have to help them understand the music and the language, of course, letting them know that it's just entertainment. This is not always real life. This is not always something to follow. And and definitely is not always something to emulate. Because if we don't explain it to them, they may start believing it. They may start chasing these trends that's out. They may start following artists or influencers who are not leading them in a positive way. And that is why real conversations matter. Parents, we have to be willing to sit down and break things down. We have to ask the questions. Listen to what they are listening to. Find out what they are watching and understand what is influencing them. Because their playlists can definitely sometimes tell you what is shaping their mindset. And this is not about judging them. This is about guiding them. That's what we want to do. We want to make sure we guide them. Another thing we have to do is celebrate effort, not just the results. Do not only praise the win. Do not only praise the grade. Do not only just praise if the kid gets a trophy. Praise the hard work. Praise the growth, the discipline, and the resilience that they have. Praise the fact that they kept going after failure. And I remember when my son was getting his license, it took him several times to pass the driver's test. I ain't gonna lie, like I said in the past, I was probably just as frustrated as he was. But what made me proud of him is that he didn't give up. He kept going, he kept trying, he kept showing up. And that is something that we have to celebrate in our kids, because life is not always about getting it the first time. And we all know that from life experience. Sometimes greatness is built by trying again. Sometimes confidence is built after failure. Sometimes the lesson is more important than the win. And that is why I teach my kids and the youth that I mentor that there are no losses in life. There's just lessons. Every setback can teach you something, and every mistake can definitely grow you. Every failure also can prepare you. And life is going to have its ups and downs, its peaks and valleys. That's just a part of the journey. But a setback is not the end. Of course, we know a setback can be a setup for a comeback. So when our children go through these hard times, we have to remind them, this moment does not define you. This mistake does not cancel your future. This failure does not mean you're finished. You still have purpose. You still have value. You still have greatness inside of you. And as parents and mentors, fathers and leaders, aunts, uncles, we have to keep pouring that into them, because positivity is not weakness. Encouragement, of course, is not softness. Speaking life is not spoiling your child. It's building them, it's preparing them as well, and it's giving them something to stand on when the world gets loud. So my challenge to every parent is to be intentional with your words. Speak life daily. Correct your child, but also affirm them. Discipline your child, but also encourage them as well. Guide your child, but also remind them who they are. When a child knows who they are less likely to be controlled by who the world tells them to be. Pour greatness into your children. Plant identity. Plant love. Plant confidence, and also overall plant purpose, because greatness grows where identity, love, and words are planted. This is raising humans together. That's what this platform is for. And remember, our children need our correction, but they also need our belief. They need to hear it from us that they are loved, they are capable and destined for greatness. They need to hear that from us, the ones who truly love them. Very important. There is also something that we must understand as parents and mentors as well. Encouragement is not just about words. It is also about presence. As parents, mentors, fathers, mothers, uncles, aunts, leaders, we have to be in our kids' lives. We have to spend real time with them. We have to check in on them. We have to talk to them as well. And overall, we have to listen to them. We have to listen to our children and ask the real questions, not just the surface questions. I got on this on my last vlog, not just the, you good? Real questions like, what has been on your mind lately? What are you excited about? What has been bothering you? And who are you spending your time with? What do you listen to? These are some of the important questions that we have to ask. What do you feel like you need from me, most importantly, as the adult, as the mentor? Because kids feel more encouraged when they know somebody truly sees them. They need to know that we care about what they are carrying. They need to know that we are paying attention, of course. They need to know that we see their heart, their gifts, their struggles. and their potential overall. Because sometimes our kids are carrying things they do not know how to explain. And I went through this several times with my eldest, where it was things he wanted to tell me, but just didn't know how to articulate it to me. And sometimes they are dealing with pressure that they have not told us about. Sometimes they're trying to just figure out who they are as well, but they need us to help guide that process, of course. That is why we have to be present. And again, not just physically in the household, but emotionally present, mentally, spiritually, and just connected. Another thing we have to do is help our kids discover their gifts and their purpose. And that means we have to pay attention. We got to start paying attention a little bit more, paying attention to what they enjoy and what comes natural to them, of course. And you'll know when your child lights up what they're into. Pay attention to where they show leadership, their kindness, their creativity, and discipline, as well as confidence. Right now, my youngest son and my oldest son, they both love basketball. My youngest is he's picked it up at a young age as well. So I'm going to feed that. I'm definitely going to feed that. I'm also going to encourage that. I'm going to support it as well. Because if it is positive, if it keeps them active, if it builds his discipline, if it helps them grow overall, then I want to pour into that. So parents, we got to pour into that. The same thing with the Michael Jackson movie. I don't know what happened, but my youngest saw the movie and he's just so inspired right now. And for the last few weeks, he's just been walking around singing Michael Jackson, dancing Michael Jackson dances, just trying to moonwalk on on everything. And I definitely think it's funny. But I also see something there. I see creativity. I see confidence that he's building. I see the excitement when he wants to show us the Michael Jackson moves. I see something positive that lights him up. So if I tell him to bust a mic move, shit, he on it. And he's so locked in. So this MJ movie has really opened up the door for my little fella. So if he came to me and said, "Dad, I want to take a dance class," I'm definitely feeding into that because it's something positive. It keeps him active. It keeps him creative. It keeps him busy, besides being in that tablet. And it gives him just another way to express himself. And sometimes as parents, we miss those small signs and we are so focused on what needs to be corrected that we miss what needs to be developed. So we have to learn how to feed what they show us. If they show leadership, feed it. If they show kindness, feed that. Creativity, feed it. Discipline, anything that they're disciplined in, feed that. If they show interest in something positive, of course, we have to feed that because kids stay encouraged when they hear life spoken into them. So when he's busting the MJ moves, I'm the biggest cheerleader. I'm on the sideline commentating. I'm enjoying every second. If somebody comment about it, I'll definitely upload the video so y'all can check it out. My youngest, he's a mess. He's funny, man. But these kids will stay encouraged when their effort is noticed. That's a fact. They also stay encouraged when their setbacks are put into perspective, as well as when they feel seen. They stay encouraged when they know they have a purpose. Now let's talk about some useful words that will help build our children. And listen, y'all, I understand a lot of us was broken when we were kids, and some of our parents did not speak positivity into us. But we have to break that cycle, y'all. Number one, speak life into your child consistently. That has to be a daily thing. Tell your child who they are in a positive, truthful, and an empowering way. Remind them that they're smart, capable, loved, that they're gifted, that they're a leader. You are built for a purpose. In my household, that's just what I teach. One of my biggest things is I teach pride. When I drop my kids off, as I mentioned earlier, I always ask them, "Who are we?" They say Hunts. I ask them, "What are we?" And they say, of course, leaders. And finish it up. Well, what do we have a lot of? And they say pride. Those words matter, y'all. Those things grow inside of them when we speak life into them every day. Because your children, they need to hear who they are before the world tries to tell them who they are not. But two, affirm their identity, not just their achievements. Some of the things I discussed earlier, I just want to reiterate the importance. Not only praise the accomplishments, nor just the performance, also praise their character, praise their effort, their kindness, their leadership, their discipline, and their resilience, most of all. Those things matter, y'all. They really matter. A child needs to know that they are valuable, even when they don't win. Even when they take losses, they need to know they're valuable. They are valuable when they don't get the trophy. They're valuable when they make a mistake. They are also valuable because of who they are, not just what they accomplish. My oldest son grew up being a part of a youth group through my fraternity, and those little things matter. Being around positive men, I see it now. I've seen it then, I see it now. Being around that mentorship, that structure, accountability, the encouragement, those things help shape him into the young man that he is becoming today. And I know that for a fact because it did the same thing for me. I grew up in the same mentorship program that he grew up in. I grew up around positive men and it changed my life. So I believe in putting our children around good people because who they are around will eventually influence what grows inside of them. Number three, correct without tearing them down. Children need correction. Let's be clear about that. They need discipline. They need accountability. They need boundaries, most of all. But they should not leave every hard conversation feeling small. Discipline should still leave room for dignity. Correction should still leave room for hope. Accountability should still leave room for love. When I have to get on my sons about something, I always try to end it with love. I let them know I may be disappointed. I may not be happy with their decision, but I still love you. I look them right in the eyes after an intentional conversation and I tell them I love them. And I truly believe that matters because kids need to understand that correction is not rejection. Discipline does not mean I stopped loving you. Being disappointed does not mean I gave up on you. It simply means I care enough to guide you and correct you. It means I love you too much to let you go the wrong direction without saying something. Number four, help them identify their gifts and strengths early. Pay attention to what they keep going back to. Pay attention to what makes them light up as well. Definitely where they show their compassion, their creativity, as discussed before, their leadership, their discipline. Sometimes a child's gift may not look good in the beginning. It may look like dancing around the house. It may look like shooting baskets in the driveway. It also may look like drawing, singing, helping others, asking questions, fixing things, or leading their friends. But if we pay attention, we can start helping them build it. With my son and this Michael Jackson thing, I see it. Like I said, he's walking around, moonwalking on everything, singing and dancing. And I'm definitely going to encourage it. I'm definitely going to encourage that because it's positive overall. Creativity is expression. And sometimes those little sparks can turn into confidence. Number five, create a home filled with positive language. Let your home be the place where your children hear encouragement. Let it be the place where they hear truth, where they hear belief, not just criticism, labels, and negativity, not just those things. Now, I know this can be hard because some parents will say, my child's been acting up lately. My son has been with the wrong crowd. My daughter's has been making bad choices and I'm frustrated. And I understand that. But even then, we have to find something positive to speak into them because every child still has something inside of them worth building. Every child still has potential. And every child still has a gift. And I truly believe that. That is a part of being a parent and a mentor. And of course, that's a part of this platform, raising humans together. We have to find the positive and feed it. Because parents should be building before the world breaks our children down. The outside distractions will always be there. The wrong crowd will always be there. The negative influences will always be there as well. Social media, it's not going nowhere. That's going to be there. And of course, music will always be there. And that is why our kids need that strong foundation. They need to know what is real. They need to know what is right. They also need to know what they should and should not do. They need to be around good people. Iron sharpens iron. And they need to understand why. That is why I put my kids into mentorship programs. That is why I put them around positive people. That is why I put them in youth groups, because I know what it did for me and it changed my life. And I know it can help shape theirs. Now, I want to say this too. As our kids get older, especially teenagers, we have to learn how to look at the big picture. I know some parents struggle with the dating conversation, and I get it. But when my son was younger and had a girlfriend, part of me was thinking, man, is he too young for this? That's what definitely crossed my mind. But when I really looked at it, his girlfriend, she was good, nice young lady, was respectful. And when you put it in perspective, sometimes our kids could be out running around with knuckleheads, with the wrong people, doing things they have no business doing, hanging with the wrong crowd, or they could be spending time with that person they care about, someone they have a healthy friendship and relationship with as well. Now, that does not mean we just let anything go. There still has to be boundaries. There still has to be guidance. And there definitely still has to be communication, but sometimes we have to step back and look at the big picture, because our job is not to control everything. Our job is to guide them and to help them think, to help them make wise choices, to help them understand relationships, respect, boundaries, and responsibility. So whether it's friendship, dating, music, sports, creativity, or mentorship, we have to stay involved. We have to stay connected. We have to keep talking. And most of all, we have to keep listening. Most importantly, we have to keep pouring greatness into them, because when kids are constantly reminded of who they are, what they carry, and what they are capable of, they start walking differently. They start thinking differently, and they just start seeing themselves differently. And that's definitely the goal. That's the main objective. And not just to raise our kids who follow rules, but to raise kids who know their worth. Kids who understand their purpose, who have confidence, character, and pride. The kids who know their love. The kids who know they are leaders. And most of all, that they're destined for greatness. Another thing we have to explain to our children is why they need to be around positive people. We cannot just tell the kids, don't hang around them. That's not going to work, y'all. It's not going to be productive. We can't tell them, stay away from that crowd. Those are not your friends. We have to explain why, because who they are around matters, of course. The people around your child can either pull greatness out of them or pull them away from it. And I say that again, the people around your child can either pull greatness out of them or pull them away from greatness. Positive people help build confidence, of course. They also help kids see good in themselves. Positive people also encourage them to make better choices and also to resist the negative labels. Positive people also help them handle peer pressure better as well. Because when a child has the right people around them, they are not just easily pulled by their own crowd. They are not easily influenced by every trend. They are not easily controlled by what others say about them. They start to understand that they have purpose, they have value. They also understand that they do not have to follow everybody as well and to prove themselves to the wrong people. And that is why mentorship matters as well. The positive coaches, the teachers, the family members, the fathers, the mothers, the aunts, the uncles, the community leaders overall, because children need to see examples of what they can become. They need to be around people who speak life into them consistently. They need to be around people who challenge them in a good way. They need to be around people who correct them with love and people who remind them that they are capable of their greatness. And that is why parents, we have to be intentional about who our kids are connected to. We have to watch their circle. We have to watch who they listen to, who they admire, who gets their attention, because every child is being influenced by somebody. The question is, who is influencing your child? And are they helping build your child up? Are they helping break your child down? That is why we have to pour greatness into them at home first before the world tries to label them, the social media tries to define them, before music and trends try to shape them, also before the peer pressure tries to pull at them as well. We have to give them the foundation and teach who they are and remind them what they carry. This just starts by praising who they are becoming. Praise their character, praise their effort, the discipline. Praise that when your child is disciplined, doing the right things, their kindness, their leadership, their resilience. And remember, if they fail multiple times at something, when they finally achieve it, make sure we praise them for sticking through the process and overcoming the obstacle. Because success is good, but identity is deeper. A child needs to know I am valuable even when they don't win. I am loved even when they make mistakes. And I still have purpose even when I fall short. And that's definitely very important. If we only celebrate their success, kids might start believing they are only valuable when they perform. And we don't want that. But when we affirm their identity, we help them understand that their worth is bigger than a trophy, a game, or a mistake. Correction is necessary. Discipline is necessary. Accountability is necessary. But we must make sure our children do not leave every hard conversation feeling destroyed. We can correct them and still protect their dignity. We can hold them accountable and still give them hope. We can discipline them and still remind them that they are loved. And sometimes we need to say, you made a mistake, but that's not who you are. As you all know, I like to leave every vlog with a few relatable quotes tied to the subject we are talking about. And here are a few that stand out. If we do not teach our children who they are, the world will try to define them for us. That is why identity matters, why our words matter, and most of all, our presence matter. Because if we are not speaking life into them, something or somebody else will be speaking into them. Another one that I like is a child who knows who they are can walk through life with more confidence and clarity. And that is powerful because when kids know who they are, they do not have to chase every trend. They do not have to prove themselves to the wrong people. And they do not have to accept every label the world tries to put on them. They can stand on what they know. They can stand on what was planted in them. And lastly, words planted in children early can become strength they can stand on later. And that reminds me of something we say in law enforcement. When all those fails, you rely on your training. And that same thing applies to our children. When life gets hard, they are going to fall back on their foundation. When they get in a jam, they're going to fall back on what they know. When the world gets loud, they are going to fall back on what was planted in them. So as parents, mentors, fathers, mothers, aunts, uncles, leaders, we have to make sure we are providing that foundation. We have to make sure we are planting the right words. We have to make sure we are speaking life, make sure we are building them up before the world tries to break them down. Now, parents, as always, I want to leave you with a call to action. This week, speak one intentional word of life over your child every day. Just one. Give it a try. Tell them they're capable, that they're loved. Tell them that they're smart. Remind them that they have purpose and that you see the greatness in them. Also, pay attention to your child's gifts. Start calling those gifts out clearly. If you see something positive in them, name it. Put it out there. If you see leadership, call it out. If you see creativity, call it out. Kindness, call that out as well. Even a discipline. You see them doing something good that you gave instructions on, call it out. Sometimes we have to claim it before they believe it. We have to help build that confidence in them. And lastly, make your home a place where encouragement is heard often and spoken on purpose. Let your child hear more belief than criticism. Let them hear more vision than negativity. Let them hear more love than labels, because our children need a foundation, a strong foundation. They need identity. They need the confidence. They need purpose. They need to know their greatness is already inside of them. Family, make sure you subscribe to Raising Humans Together for more real conversations and practical strategies that help raise confident, grounded, and purpose-filled children. Parents, mentors, let's grow together. See you on the next one. Peace.